Welcome back. So starting off the week, I wanted to quickly lay out a piece of Lexan here with some pilot holes that'll become the instrument panel for the test stand. So this is just a clear bit of Lexan just put up on the machine and just quickly drilled these holes that I'd laid out, and for instruments and also for a boost pump switch and also ignition. And here I'm just basically switching over to the hand drill here and with the hole saw, 2-inch hole saw, and just cutting out the openings for each of the gauges there. And it didn't take long to do that, although the gauges were slightly larger than the holes, so I did have to spend a little bit of handwork time enlarging the holes enough so the gauges would fit nicely. And meanwhile, Devon and Zach were busy on bulking up this mold that got laid on Friday, or earlier last week actually. And so they put the core down there, same type of deal as before, with a couple of layers of heavy and some core, and vacuum bagging it just to push down on the core there nicely. So they didn't have too many issues with that one, which is good. And here's the right side one of that. So that mold was released on Monday, I believe. Yeah, and came out well. Just needs to be sort of cleaned up around the edges there and have the rubber profile removed there, and then that one's all ready for waxing and ultimately laying up that part. So I drilled some holes in the test stand here to mount that instrument panel that I'm putting together, and now I'm just using a tap there to tap them, just so, you know, I'm just basically putting a small screw in there. We've got 6 of them really, just initially, to see if that's enough. And I put some little cross brace, 1x1 cross braces in there that you can see to support the panel on the upper and lower sides. And while all that's been going on, the plug for the right wing spar has been up on the machine, and half of it's already been run, and then the platform for it has been slid down and it's running the other half now. So nothing really complicated with this one, so it's moving along nicely. And here's the guys, and Jeff's helping out with bagging this one. That was the one they were working on before, bulking that up, and actually I forgot to get a video of finishing that one out. And onto the fuselage now. Jeff has bonded in these rear brackets for the gear, so the upper and lower ones, and you already saw the other one got bonded to that rear pressure bulkhead last week. And there you can also see the bolts on the back of the aft bulkhead there that are holding the header tank in place. And looking around here, there you can see the brackets on the other side, and you see there's rivets there, but those are just basically in the Cleco holes, and that's just to hold that in place while the high sol sets. And back on the instrument panel, you see I've taken the protective covering off the Lexan. There you can see the key and the boost pump switch, and here's the gauges all laid out in there. So over here on the right we have intake temperatures, and those are dual gauges, so there's going to be intake and outtake temperatures for both stages of the turbos, and then EGT, and then boost, and then we have volts and hours, and also we're going to have a display that's going to show all the parameters coming off the ECU as well, and that'll be on a computer. And Britt dropped off some of the stuff he's been working on. So this is the pipe for the radiator hookup, and you see I've put the joining sort of silicon rubber hoses in there. Still need to get some larger clamps to finish that off. And then this one here, this is the heater, and for, you know, which is normally a heater in the car. We're just basically looping that around right now. We'll decide if we need that later on. We may not need it because of the hot air coming off the turbo used to pressurize the cabin. And this is the other one for the radiator, and that's just sort of set into place, and that one came out nicely. It's a little bit out of alignment, but not bad, seeing I just eyeballed it when I put it in the CAD. And now that we have the gear brackets all in place, we decided to test fit the gear legs. So this is one of the legs there that you saw from a while ago, back from the powder coat. It's still got all the protective wrapping around it, but there you can see it's pivoting on the pivot bolt right now. And that's pretty much where it is fully retracted, which will be in the wing. And then dropping down there, it doesn't go all the way down there because it hits on that crossbar of our fixture, but you get the idea. And switching over to the other side, basically the same thing over here, and you can see how it pivots up. And we're still waiting on the laser cutter to finish cutting all the metal so we can create the retraction brackets for that. And Zach and Devon were cutting the braces for this one this afternoon, and I just found out this evening that looks like Chris and Roberto are not going to be coming in anymore for quite some time. Their other job that they have is keeping them really busy with lots of overtime, so that's a real bummer for us, but we'll just have to sort of plug along without them. Anyway, here's the wing spar, that right one. So that one's done now and ready for glassing, and then ultimately get some putty sprayed on there. We'll put it back on the machine, and we'll soon be milling the one for the other side as well soon. And one of the things I wanted to do on the first turbo here was just smooth out this opening here, because it was a little bit narrow. And when you put this the mating bracket on there, and this is basically similar to the one that we have on that reverse Y pipe that Britt finished off the other day, it was kind of like clashing there. So I just got in there and cleaned it all out. And obviously I had to take off the housing first, because I didn't want to get any metal shards and stuff into the turbine housing. It would have destroyed it. So anyway, I blew it all out nice and clean. So that one's now done and pretty much ready to have that turbo bolted on now. And lastly, our front seats arrived today, and I'd ordered these several months ago, and they were on back order for a long time because they were waiting on this material. And as you can see, it's super nice little ultra suede in grey on the whole front of the seat. And these are kind of like aftermarket racing seats, but they're actually really comfortable. They're lightweight too, about 25 pounds. They're fully reclining, and they also tilt forward, so you'll be able to get in the back seats. And the back here you see has sort of like this faux carbon look to it, which is sort of a vinyl, and should be fairly durable. And if they work out really well, we'll order 3 more for the back seats. So anyway, we just need to create the seat mounts now. We'll be able to put those in, and so as things coming together with the fuselage, it'll be nice to have the seats in there, and we'll be able to sit in it and make airplane noises. Anyway, that's our update for the first half of this week, and thanks again for watching.